Hello everyone, I'm Tian Hao. The title of my speech today is Protect Our Privacy. Nicole McCabe, an Australian living in Israel, was 6 months pregnant when she found out that she was wanted for committing murder. It was believed that she and two other Australians were responsible for assassinating Hamas chief Mahmoud al-Mabhouh. She was listening to the radio and her name was one of those read by the announcers in the news bulletin. Turns out she and the other two Australians had their identities stolen. So tell me, how many of you change your password regularly? How many of you actually read the privacy policy before giving it the permission to access your private information? What if the permissions you granted are unknowingly used against you and misusing the data illegally? What if I told you that our privacy is not really private anymore? During the era of Internet of Things, there are drawbacks, my friends. Despite its convenience and efficiency, the underlying risks of having our data breached and misused are unbearable. As someone with an IT background, I feel responsible to educate the masses on the harm that these issues can bring and the importance of data protection. Most of you might think that isn't this the responsibility of the organizations and the companies to take initiatives on protecting our data? You are absolutely right. However, we should at least do our parts by taking extra steps to better shield our private information from prying eyes. So, listen closely and take notes when I tell you that data breaches are rapidly rising issues and that it is a danger to all of us. Thus, we still have to play a role in protecting ourselves. Before I talk about what we can do to protect our private information, first we have to get to know about data breaches and the misuse of data and their consequences. Data breach is increasing in an alarming rate. Data breach occurs when one or more individuals have access to your information without authorization. Personal information such as name, birth date, bank account information is among the most common targets for data breaches. According to the risk-based security, the numbers of reported breach cases in an increase of 50% over the last 4 years on 2019. From 2015 to 2018, there were only less than 200 cases reported. Through June 2019, 3,812 cases are reported and 4.1 billion records are exposed, which is up 52%. Can you imagine how the numbers will surge in 2020 if we don't do something? Now that we've seen how alarming the cases are going up over the years, let's move on to how it can affect us. Data breaches can lead to damaging consequences to the victims, like identity theft and financial loss. Being the most common cases, identity theft commits illegal acts using your identity to avoid accusation of crimes, just like Nicole McCabe. This may lead to ruining your reputations and you being a scapegoat for crimes you've never done. Secondly, you can easily face financial loss by making the purchases via your bank account or transferring of credits to them when your financial information is breached. Let's move on and see a good example. Facebook 2018 data breach is one of the biggest breach reported and the one that hit close to home, as you know, all of us use Facebook. According to a report from The Guardian, more than 50 million Facebook profiles were harvested illegally. Imagine being in the shoes of the victims. The hackers gain access of all your personal information and your activities, including your full name, gender, your hometown, your phone number, and where you go. In contrast, more than hundreds of websites and apps in the market such as Twitter uses Facebook information to log in. This means that not only the hackers get access to your Facebook, but also all the other sites you use Facebook to log into. Isn't it scary? This major data breach that went on to the misuse of data harvested to manipulate the public. The one behind all this, Cambridge Analytica. It was revealed that they used the illegally harvested data to build a software to predict the outcome of elections and to influence the public by micro-targeting the voters. It is believed that Donald Trump's election team had gained unfair advantages over his opponents by working with the firm. With the information of users harvested, The firm can create advertisements designed specifically and unique to different users, according to their characteristics or preferences, which in turn will affect the user's opinions on the elections. It can also be used vice versa, which target the opponent's supporters by creating advertisements that will suppress their intention to vote. This is how easily public opinion can be manipulated by just having their private information. Imagine if this injustice and manipulation was done here in Malaysia. It doesn't sit well with me, and neither should you. This major breach issue has shown us how bad data breaches and the misuse of it can really affect us. So what can we do to protect ourselves from becoming the victims? There are a few steps that we can do to enhance the security level of our private information. The simplest and fundamental way, use a strong password and change it regularly. Do not use the same password for every online account you have and change it at least once per year. Use two-factor authentication, which will require to authorize the usage of accounts on new devices. It is also not advisable to save your password in your device, even though it's very convenient, but that is not the case. If someone has access to your device, then they will have access to all your passwords that are saved in the phone. There are viruses and malware everywhere on the internet. Thus, we need to be careful with what we do with our device. You should only access to sites that are reliable and run software from trusted sources. Needless to say, pirating content is illegal. It can also be very harmful to your device, because most of the contents you download contains malwares or viruses. It is vital to install antivirus software in your device and have it updated regularly to keep it on par with the fast-moving malware industry. Using public Wi-Fi might expose you to the risk of others monitoring your activities and getting malware infections from other devices connected to the same Wi-Fi. Third, or the last, be cautious when you are giving out information. Though it takes days or even months to finish pages of private policy, but we should at least get to know how the companies are going to use our information. Companies are making profits out of your data, our data, by selling it to third parties. So be careful when we are giving out information to others, especially when we are filling out the online surveys. There are much more we can do, but these are the most basic yet effective ways we can do on protecting our private information. We have a better understanding of data breaches and data misuse, the consequences from the issues, and what initiatives we can do now. It cannot be denied that the companies and organizations are on the heavy side when it comes to the responsibilities on protecting our private information from attackers and being ethical to handle our data properly. But are we going to rely on the companies to shield our information? Or are we going to step up and do our parts for not being another victims of the issues? What we can do might seem worthless or not reliable, but I'm not going to risk seeing myself wanted for scamming money from others or being manipulated to do things I would not want to. And I really hope that there won't be another Nicole McKay who found herself wanted for committing murder from the radio news. In fact, I think all of us are not hoping to see that. So let us take the initiative to protect ourselves. Thank you.